storm. Caitlin Stansel is in Carolina Beach, where the currents continue to strengthen. And our Francis Weller has details on a warning and advice from the governor.
But first, we want to check in with meteorologist Lauren Rautenkratz.
And what we're talking about is Tropical Storm Arthur as he tracks up the coast right now. It's the calm before the storm, but coming up, we'll talk about area beaches and how they're preparing.
We could start seeing the effects of that storm sometime around late morning or around the lunch hour tomorrow.
But the heavy surf will begin sooner than that. News at 10 reporter Caitlin Stansel talked to some lifeguards at Carolina Beach about the potential dangers there. Hey, Caitlin.
Ashley, John, you can see right now it's pretty calm out here, but the wind is blowing, and local leaders are keeping a very close eye on this, preparing for the unexpected. And I also talked to local lifeguards who say, they're trying to stay on top of this storm. And what we know right now is that leaders here are planning to close Freeman Park tomorrow. They said they should close that around the afternoon, around noon or between 2 o'clock. Now, when I did talk to local lifeguards, what they said is they're going to be keeping an extra close eye as swimmers and surfers that are brave enough to get out there and face those waves. There's always those out there that try and get out in the water, and they say they want to be proactive for this storm, keeping the number of rescues as low as possible.
We're going to try to keep people out of the water as much as possible and really kind of discourage inexperienced swimmers and surfers from going in.
Now, as you can imagine, it's not just the water that is an issue. They're also going to be watching the winds. It's already windy out here now, but keeping a close eye on those speeds, because if they pick up to 45 miles per hour, they may have to close down Snow's-Cuts Bridge. For now, we'll just have to see what happens. In Carolina Beach, Caitlin Stansel, Fox Wilmington News.
Go to Caitlin Stansel, who's live in Carolina Beach for the latest there. Caitlin?
Ashley, the winds here picked up a little bit since we talked to you at the top of the hour, but by most accounts, it is still pretty calm out here. There are people walking on the beach, but as our meteorologists are keeping a close eye on this storm, so are local leaders. Right now, they are planning for the unexpected. They are watching the wind speeds to see if they need to close the bridge down tomorrow. They are also planning to close down Freeman Park between 12 and 2 tomorrow afternoon in case this storm is a little more than they are prepared for. Now, we'll definitely be monitoring this by all accounts, and just go to foxwilmington.com for the latest. I'm going to send it back to you now.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. Seems really...
As she said, we could start feeling the effects of Arthur sometime tomorrow morning, maybe around the lunch hour.
Officials at our local beaches are warning the storm could churn up some very dangerous waves before and even after it arrives. WECT's Caitlin Stansel spoke with officials about the rip currents and is live now at Carolina Beach with that information. Caitlin?
Freya and John, just to give you an idea of what it's like out here, if you were a model, this would be perfect weather. You get that natural wind-blown look going, because the winds here have picked up since we've been out here just the past couple of hours. Now, on a more serious note, area beaches are on standby status right now as Tropical Storm Arthur tracks up the coast. Now, from all accounts that we've talked to tonight, area beaches and businesses are expecting to stay open through this storm, but we also talked to local lifeguards who say, they are stepping up their staff tomorrow, making sure they keep a very close eye on any swimmers or surfers who decide to brave the waves. Now, they're adding more staff on, as I said, and especially watching those inexperienced swimmers and surfers.
We're going to try to keep people out of the water as much as possible and really kind of discourage inexperienced swimmers and surfers from going in. After you've been out here for a few years, you know how to recognize where rip currents are going to form, and what portions of the tide are going to be more dangerous for certain areas of the beach. So we're just really trying to take note of those rip currents and then make sure we advise swimmers in those areas to stay away from those more dangerous areas.
Now, as Armstrong just mentioned, the lifeguards here want to stay proactive and keep those number of rescues as low as possible tomorrow. And something else I want to mention is Carolina Beach leaders here tell me that they do expect to close Freeman Park between 12 and 2 tomorrow. So stay with us for an update on that. But they'll also be watching those winds. If they hit 45 miles per hour, they are going to look at closing Snow's-Cuts Bridge. For now, in Carolina Beach, Caitlin Stansel, WECT News.
Governor Pat McCrory